let's talk a little bit about saving and investing. So I would define saving as just any extra money you bring in a given amount of time that you haven't spent yet. So let's say in a given month, you bring in $4,000 and you spend $3,500 in that month. Well, then you would have saved $500. Now, that $500, there's many different things you could do with it. You could just put it into a bank account. You could put it into a savings or a checking account, or you could even get a certificate of deposit. And those are all very, very safe things to do with your money. Assuming that nothing horrible happens with the bank, and even if something horrible did happen with the bank, which isn't too likely, as long as it's less than $250,000 per account, that money is pretty much you're going to be able to access it at any time. But when you put your money into something that safe, you're not likely to get much of a return. You'll be lucky to get even 1 or 2%, or even to keep up with inflation. But it makes sense to do that because you're going to have your money there. It's guaranteed. And all of us need to keep some of our money in savings and checking account because we might need to use that money to pay a bill, to do whatever in the next few weeks or in the next few months. Now, investing is when you think about, all right, I have this money, which for the most part I would have had to have saved already, and some of it I want to invest in order to get a higher return. Try to get 4 or 5%, 10%, 20%. I would start getting very suspicious if you think you can consistently get higher than 10 or 20% return, even higher than 10%. You're probably having to take on a reasonable amount of risk to do that. Usually risk and return are related. If you could get high return with low risk, everyone would just pour their money there. So you should be a little bit suspicious of that. But what does investing look like? Well, at the riskier end of the spectrum, it could be, hey, I'm going to buy some new startup stock that is stock in a company that isn't making money, but it's growing super fast. And look at how its stock is moving up. That's a little bit speculative. That would be high risk, potentially high return. At the other end of the spectrum, you could buy government or corporate bonds, where you're essentially lending money to the government or to a corporation. And there you might get a lower return. Maybe you're getting 4%, 5%, 6%, which is a lot more than you might be getting in your checking account. And the risk there is only if whoever you're lending it to doesn't pay it back. And obviously, if you're lending it to the government, there's a very high chance that they're going to pay it back. So that's how I think about it. Saving, just the money that you're bringing in that you're not spending, you're saving that. And then some of that, you could invest it. But when you start to invest, you're going for a higher return, but you're also taking on higher risk.